Great to finally be in studio after all this time.
This is nice.
All this time.
How are you, my friend? Thank you for coming straight from the press conference, huh?
Thank you, Bob.
How was it?
Oh, it was great.
Oh, you're representing my friends at Block Asset.
And I'm also representing the Three Lions.
We need to talk. We have
Let's
a lot.
go.
Can we talk, Brendan?
That's why I'm here.
First of all, can I tell you the nerves? I keep looking at the clock. 90 minutes from now, my boys in red, you know who they're playing.
How's it looking?
I'm a little nervous, but Marlon just gave me some hope. He thinks they could beat Belgium. What do you think?
Well, listen, after what Saudi Arabia did, anything can happen.
Japan too today. You saw that?
Crazy.
You feel like we have a chance?
No.
No? Come on. At least he told me we have a chance. Why? Because of Kevin De Bruyne? Who's that guy? He's a nobody.
He's not.
He plays for that shitty Manchester team. We don't like that.
He's not a bad player, though. Let's have it right.
Have you seen Alphonso Davies? Jonathan David is coming to your squad. You know that, right?
Should we just be like a realist here?
Yes.
We've got Friday.
Yes.
USA.
Okay, here we go.
Versus England.
Yeah.
And me versus Bobo. Could it have felt any better, be honest?
Well, you're missing Harry Kane, potentially. Is that Kane? What do we got? There it is, the captain. I heard he's a little banged up. Are we nervous?
Listen, we're all banged up.
Yeah, we are all
Yeah,
banged
but we're English.
Yeah,
and we get it done.
I saw you trolling the fans. Someone said, name one thing that, what was it? England's better than the US?
MMA.
MMA.
I had to.
It was right there.
It was like teed up.
Did you watch the match on Monday?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty one-sided.
Very one-sided. I think we're looking good, you know.
Yeah?
I think it could be the year.
You think it's coming home?
It definitely could be.
You really think? Why does it always
every
feel like
year
we
they
think
do this?
Yes.
Every tournament they do it though.
But it does feel like they have a nice mix of like the older guys, the younger guys. Yeah. Southgate. I like Southgate. Do you like Southgate?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you know, like you say, the young and the old. You got the old boys in there, but then you got the young, fast players. I just think, you know, we've had so many letdowns that it's our time. Come on, please give it us this time. We deserve it. 66 all over again.
Oh my gosh! I thought you had it last year. At least you know the Euro Cup that unfortunately
again.
Ended. Yes.
Typical England.
Right. By the way, what are you going to do on Friday? Are you going to be able to watch, or are you going to be locked in?
No, I'll watch. It'll kind of like...
It's 2 p.m., I think, right?
Zone mate. Yeah, perfect timing.
Perfect time. What time do you think you'll fight at?
Put it on at 10 o'clock.
Oh, you'll have time.
Yeah.
So that will give you motivation. They whoop America's ass, and then you go whoop another American's ass.
I think it's going to be another Iran type of scoreline.
You think so?
Do you?
No.
They got beat by Wales, bro.
Wow. You don't think Wales is good? Gareth Bale?
I mean, they're not. It's one player.
Yeah, I know. First time, 64 years for them?
Come on.
My prediction is 2-1. Last time they played, they drew.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, true.
U.S. is good. Young, inexperienced.
Yeah. I mean, it's growing over here, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's big.
Over
it's big here. Very big. So you're all in. You're locked in. Have you been watching?
The
World Cup.
Bits and bobs here and there, in between training, weight cuts, things like that. You're
busy.
Yeah.
When this is done, you'll be able to sit back.
Will I? Over a pint.
Yes.
On a Sunday roast.
Are you going home after? Are you going to Manchester after this?
No, I'm going to have a few days, and then guess what I'm going to do? I've got this thing that I'm locked in that I've always wanted to do. I'm cornering Darren Till in.
Oh wow!
In Vegas.
Bastard.
So I'm driving over. I'm going to do Route 66.
You're kidding?
Yeah. I've always wanted to do it.
Holy shit! How long is that going to take?
Well, it can take 4 days if you want to redline it, but I'm going to take like 12, 13 days.
Where are you stopping?
I've not overly looked at that bit yet, but I just know that I'm doing it. I've always wanted to do it. I've got a break now after this fight, and I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get a big camper van.
Oh my God, like this one?
Maybe not, a bit better than that one.
I love this. This is the classic.
You know, I'm going to ball out.
Are you going to sleep in it?
Yeah, sleep in it.
Oh my gosh. And are you going alone?
No. I'm going for a few friends that are already here.
Okay.
It's just going to be the coolest time. I can't wait to just deload, you know, everything of this year. It's been a stressful year.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to just go there as a world champion, bring my big belt, and just have some
big bag of cash.
Yeah.
By the way, how soon do you get that $1 million? Like, does it like drop into the account?
I'm hearing like overnight wires.
Jesus. Your whole career, has it equaled $1 million?
No, nowhere near.
Nowhere near?
No.
What do you think? Half?
I mean, we've only just started making money since we got to the PFL.
Right.
In here, 2 years? So, yeah, it's not equating to $1 million.
Did you ever think that this was a possibility? Like, was this part of the dream, or did you always start to say, like, hey, if I make like 200 in a fight, 250, 500, that would be nice?
Well, I started making 150 pound. That was my first fight, 2008.
Your first paycheck?
Yeah.
150 pounds?
I went from there 16 years on to $1 million flat. Like, it's been a wild ride, to say the least.
Why has this year been stressful?
Well, it's the turnarounds, isn't it?
Oh,
It's the PFL season format, and you Pettis talk about it, Kayla's talking about it, Aubin Mercier, everyone's just like, it's wild, and it's my second
Pettis
season.
talked about it, Rory.
It really is that hard.
Yeah.
And you've got to really respect a PFL champion, and especially double, and if Kayla does it 3-time champion, it's hard, man.
Harder than you thought it would be?
I'm a guy that trains all the time anyway, and I always wanted regular competition. And I got more than I could, a bit off more than I could chew. They're like, right, okay, there you go, you're going to have that many. But I do love it at the same time. I love the fact that there's an off season. I get to enjoy Christmas with my friends and my family. That's something I never really got to do in my career. I was always fighting around that time. And, when the season comes round, be ready. Because I say to people, even if you pick up these little niggles in fights or in training, you miss one season fight, your season's done. And you're waiting out till next year. So it's its own entity. It's great, it's fun, it's exciting. Took me a year to get used to it, and now I'm in the best mind frame I could possibly be in for this year.
Have you gone into any of these fights banged up, but you knew because of the stakes you couldn't afford to...
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah?
Yeah, I believe everybody is... like you say, you miss one day.
Yeah.
Who's going to wait 12 months for another fight? You're like, nope, I've got to go.
And plus that paycheck, you can't get that big pot, right? So you can't afford to do it. Now, I thought you looked fantastic in your last fight.
Thank you.
And it felt like all eyes were on you, a lot of pressure, you're back home. Did you feel it? Like, did you feel, like in retrospect, like that was a lot to deal with, right? I mean, this felt like your big homecoming. This felt like your big moment, right?
Yeah, it was extreme pressure. Like, it's the most pressure.
You've never felt that before?
No way. Like, we had a guy in Chris Wade who did really well in the UFC, give Islam probably his toughest fight in the UFC, and he's talking all this. He's been a season finalist here, all X, Y, and Z. And then he's coming over and he's sitting as close as we are saying, I'm going to hold you down, beat you up in front of 6,000 of your friends and family. And I'm like, shit, if I don't show up, he will actually do that as well.
And you didn't like him. So
I really didn't like him.
That was legit?
No, it was fully legit. I still don't.
Even after it's over?
Yeah, like, I just don't like his character. I don't like the way, we've always had this back and forth since I first joined the company. And, you kind of got it out on this show. But, yeah, we're just opposite characters. He's got his thing, I've got my thing. All respect to him, we fought it out, that's done now. But, yeah, the pressure, when people talk about this pressure, I just had to deal with a hell of a lot of pressure in the semis to even get here. And I pulled out the best performance of my career, one of them. So I just feel so much more confident coming to this one now.
And considering his skill set, right, wrestler, considering Bubba's skill set, does how you performed in that fight give you a lot of confidence going into this fight? Because I think the knock would be, it's kind of gone away, but, that English fighters don't have wrestling, this and that. It's not really a thing as much anymore. But still, like, to do what you did to Chris Wade now against Bubba, I feel like you have to have a lot of confidence going into this fight considering how the last one went, right?
Yeah, I mean, MMA maths don't work. We all know that. It really doesn't, though. Like, I'm like, yeah, but he beat him and then he beat him.
Right.
No. This is $1 million on the line. This is change your family's life type of shit. So, like, people are going to fight their ass off. And, like, Chris Wade was a prime example of how I can negate and deal with wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I think Bubba knows that. And he knows he's in for the toughest fight of his night on Friday, toughest fight of his life on Friday. And I know that with the skill set that I brought to Wade and what I've added in the last 8 weeks, I didn't think it was even possible to raise my ceiling at this age and with this experience, but I have raised it again, and I can't wait to show everyone.
How do you feel about Bubba?
Bubba's cool.
Yeah?
I don't like fake rivalries, Ariel.
Yeah, but so what is this one? How would you describe it? Because I see you guys going back and forth, but it seems a little friendlier, right?
I like him.
Okay,
like, people are trying to drum up some... Yeah. And I'm like, the guy's cool. Like, don't forget, Ariel, like, when we did lockdown fights, we were locked in a bubble for 17 days together, so you couldn't leave. He had his coach, I had my coach. Then you'd be at breakfast with him, dinner and all that. And then he was one of the guys that I got on with. Like, me and him would just laugh and joke. Yeah, and his coach, my coach, everyone gets on. And then we knew we were going to fight. It's inevitable in here. And then when we did, it's like, fuck. And then we're trying to hate each other in the stare downs and all that. But we're like, listen, bro, it is what it is. You don't have to hate somebody to fight your ass off. And that's what we're going to do.
But is it easier when you hate him?
No.
It's not?
I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, like I say, 16 years in it, I fought friends, I fought people I hate, I fought great competitors, like, I fought all different types. Like, on The Ultimate Fighter, I fought Mike Wilkerson, and I shared a bunk bed with him for 8 weeks. We were super close. Even after the show, we were going out every weekend together in Manchester.
Wow.
And then got the phone call, you're fighting each other. So I'm used to it.
Right. Because there's some fighters, it was just one last week who told me, and I don't remember who it is now, it was like, Dustin was telling me, Dustin Poirier, that it's easier for him to get up for the fight, to get motivated to train, to really feel like he can perform at his best when there's some sort of tension there, when there's animosity. But I guess everyone's different.
But Ariel, do you need any more motivation than $1 million?
Yeah.
Like, put anyone in there, they're going to need 3 of them.
Right.
Like, $1 million. You
Right.
know, what more motivation? You change your whole family's life in one night.
What do you think you'll do with it?
Everyone says that. Like, what's the first thing you'll buy? There's not one thing that starts. Well, Route 66 is my thing.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. And for anyone watching, I'll document it, like, you know, all the cool bits and, you know, from an English perspective.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
It's just having that comfort, right? Like having that security.
Sorry, yeah. That's a good point. That's what I said, like, to get up in the morning
And just know.
Not have to do a 9 to 5 after fighting, invest it correctly and be able to get up, be my own boss. That's what the goal has always been. And not, you know, end up in a job after fighting that I don't want to do because fighting didn't pay the bills. That's the goal.
When's the last time you had a 9 to 5?
I worked security in Manchester. Long time now. I really threw the towel in and went for it probably about 8 years ago. So
security, what, like at a club or something?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Actually a strip club.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You might see some crazy characters there, right?
It was some of the best times of my life.
Was it?
Yeah. It was.
Why?
Imagine I was 17.
Yeah.
I started the doors. I was this big. I remember turning up for my first day and the guys like, you know, these are big guys. They're like, but this guy who like everyone respected really vouched for me. He's like, listen, no, this guy's the real deal. But all the other guys are like,
what?
Really, bro? Like, he looks like a little child. Like, is this guy really going to stop people coming in? And then I earned my respect like that. Did 3 years of it. And then the Ultimate Fighter call came. And then I did little bits in between, had a gym and little bits here and there. But that was the last time I was full-time employed.
Anyone try to test you because they think you're smaller?
All the time.
Really?
Like, they used to get a kick out of it after about a year. The other guys used to get a kick out of it because no one would say anything to them. But they'd be like, I had one time in particular, I was there, stood there, and these guys are saying whatever. And then he was like, did your dad get you a job?
Wow.
Like that. And then I was like, yeah, he was like, well, you can fight him if you want. And they were like, they just looked at me. I was like, there's got to be a reason that he stood there looking that big, so we'll leave that one.
Did you get into any fights?
A few.
A few, but nothing too bad?
Nothing too bad, no. Nothing to write home about.
As a 17-year-old?
17.
You're there. What, did your parents know that you were doing this?
Yeah.
They didn't mind?
I was paying the bills. I was trying to chase the dream, Ariel, you know what I mean?
So
like,
you were still like, you were fighting while doing this?
9 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning, I'd finish.
Fuck.
Go home, sleep for an hour or two, train all day, and that was the routine.
How'd you do that?
It was horrible.
How'd you have the strength, how are you up for training after that?
You have no choice. I mean, you want to make it happen.
Did you go to school or were you done with school at that point?
Yeah, I went to college, did mechanical engineering, funnily enough.
Jeez, why that?
I was good with my hands and I was actually strangely good at maths.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that strange?
I don't know. It just was something that I liked history.
Right.
I was good at PE, physical education, and I was good at maths, and they were my gifts from God. And then I just ran with them. And I remember when I actually qualified the mechanical engineering, and they sent me on work experience, and I remember going in there, and it was just like these old guys that were just really unhappy. And then I thought to myself, wow, is this where it's going to end up? And then it was a chance of like, this is in the infancy of MMA. Like 1% of anyone that did MMA was going to make it. And I was like, told my friends and family and everybody, I don't want to do this. Even though I'd finished the qualification, I still have it now. It's like, I don't want to do it. I want to chase my dream. And I did. And now I'm here.
Who was the guy that you looked up to that was like, that guy can make it, I can make it?
No, it wasn't big enough then to even like, Bisping was like in Cage Warriors back then.
Wow.
I think it maybe just won the Ultimate Fighter. Or it was very, like 2007, 2008, it was very, very infant. So like, it wasn't even, there was nowhere to go. I was getting 150 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's like,
surely once he started to have some success, that opened things up a little bit. Did you go to any of those shows in the UK?
Cage Warriors, yeah, of course.
No, the UFC ones, you know, UFC 70, 75.
Yeah, Manchester, yeah.
Did you go to those?
I went to the one where they sat us up all night. Remember that one?
Oh my God, yeah, Bisping's title fight.
Starting at midnight.
Yeah. That was even later, like Rampage, Dan Henderson. Did you go to those?
Yeah, Manchester Arena. Yeah.
So when you were watching those, were you thinking like, I'm going to do that one day?
No. I would lie to you if I said that.
It was too far away. It was like impossible.
It's probably only this year that I've actually believed that I can do anything with it.
What do you mean this year?
No, seriously, like.
What are you talking about?
No, like, seriously, like, it's hard to believe that you can actually be it until you're in touching distance. And like, I think this year my confidence has grown so much that I can actually be a world champion now. Like, some people say it, but they don't believe it. Like, I always said it, but I never actually believed that I could do it. until this year.
Why do you think only this year? Like, what has changed this year?
I think age,
Oh,
experience,
maturity.
training, maturity, traveling to different gyms, sparring world champions, being around world champions, and now it's deep embedded in my soul now, like it's gonna happen.
Where's home for you now? Is it UAE or is it?
Don't know anymore.
You don't even know. Like you don't have like where are your clothes? Or are you just like a nomad? Like,
In a suitcase, bro.
That's it? You don't have a home?
I have my mum's house in Manchester.
Yes.
That will always be.
Didn't you buy that for her?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, it was a great story.
And now she's about to retire on Friday night as well. We've got to retire her after that, and that was the next goal.
Wait a second. That's the goal. She's going to retire on Friday?
Of course. Go get this belt, and then
Wow.
that's obviously got to be the next one, hasn't it?
Yeah. What does she do?
Well, she's already financially free. Let's have it right. She's got a car. She's got a house paid for. She works, and that's only to just like cover whatever she's doing around the house or whatever. And that's going to be the plan. She'll be there on Friday. So
she's going to be here.
Yeah. Mum, Dad.
What does she do for a living?
She's a carer. She
Okay.
cares for elderly people and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Listen, she's never ever going to retire. My mum's a workhorse. She's like me. That's where I got my mentality. That's where I get my tough resilience. So for her, she's never ever going to retire. But I'm going to try my best.
Yeah. What does your dad do?
My dad, he works on the roads, manual labour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why can't he retire?
He, again, won't do it.
Won't do it, huh?
He's that guy.
Were they supportive of you doing this?
Well, when I first started doing it, I started coming home and I had 2 big black eyes because like it'd be, but again, infancy, no one knew how to train. We were just punching each other there were them little MMA gloves that didn't have anything on, like bag gloves. And I would come home and I'd be like, and then I'd just look at them and I'd be like, what are you actually doing inside that place?
Yeah.
I'm sending you to training.
Yeah.
You're coming back like this, like what's going on? I was like, I just love it. And they're like, well, okay. And then when I told them I'm going to drop out of mechanical engineering, I told them I'm going to drop all these things and I'm going to chase it. They're like, if this is really what you want to do, then go ahead. And like I say, even now, how many MMA fighters can say they're financially free? Like I'm nearly there.
Right.
Not many can even say that, even in the whole world of mixed martial arts, not just PFL. So that's the goal.
And you know that a lot of people are sort of rooting for you because everyone thought that you got screwed and all this stuff. So it would be a nice little bow on this saga of the last few years, right? Do you feel that? Do you feel like people root, like in a weird way, that was probably painful, heartbreaking, but it ended up creating this identity for you and making us emotionally invested in your journey more so than I think anyone on the roster because we all felt like you were wronged. So it ended up being a positive, I feel like, for you.
Well, it was a crazy time in my life, you know, with the whole, I mean, you picked it up probably because of the Rashfords, the Furies, and everybody just started saying, he's like, who's this kid?
Yeah.
He's come out of nowhere and the whole of the UK are rooting for him. Then the whole thing happened, and then I think that got you invested, that got a lot of people invested in my career. And funnily enough, this fight week is the only time since then that this hasn't really been brought up or it's not been on the forefront.
That's good.
It's kind of going to the back of people's
Now
heads
you feel like you've created your own story, your own identity, and this is good. You're
3.5 years later.
God damn.
It's like at the back of the interview now. It's like the last question instead of the first.
Yes.
So we're making
I'm
progress.
sorry for bringing it up.
No.
Yeah.
I don't get mad about it.
Yeah,
On that night, it was the worst night in my head, and nothing was going to make that okay. But then people around me were like, trust me, this will work out to be the best thing that ever happened to you. And we're here now. We're 3.5 years later. The world title's on the table. The $1 million is on the table. Looking back at that, Brendan, if you'd have told him you'll go 7-1, you'll be fighting at MSG for a world title, you're going to beat Chris Wade, you're going to do all these things along the way, you're going to fight in London.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, what? Could I see that at the time? No. But I believed in myself, just kept going. I put my nose to the ground, I worked hard, and this is where hard work gets you.
Man. So when you're done with the Darren Till fight and all that, where do you go? Do you go back to Manchester? Where is home for you?
I am a nomad, honestly.
Really?
Like this Route 66.
You don't even have like a place in UAE. I thought you had an apartment there.
Yeah, I've got an apartment that I rent different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've got an apartment in UAE. I just spent the vast majority of the year in Thailand doing training camps. My heart's kind of there as well, but I'm not sure yet. Manchester, I've got my house. Always been my home.
Right.
But it just shows what kind of mindset I'm in, because instead of wanting to go and sit on a beach in Barbados, I want to go driving Route 66 after it. So it's like, I want to explore. And I feel like with this job that I have, I don't get to do fun things like that because you don't get 2 weeks where you can switch off mentally. So now 2 weeks I can switch off mentally and just take my time and see the world.
How do you win?
I think I'll stop Bubba, I really do. I really think I'll stop him. I think he's going to get tired. I keep saying it to him. I really do think he's going to get tired. that 3-round fighter thing's really hurting him. It's really playing on his head. Every time I say it, he's brought it up in every single interview. So there's got to be some truth to it. I'm a 5-round fighter, I always have been. I just think it's deep water time. And yeah, I think that's what's going to happen if I'm going to finish it.
I have to ask you, before we started talking about football, I need to ask Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. Do we hate him? How much do we hate this guy? Turncoat?
I wouldn't want to be him in Manchester now.
Can't go back. Bit of a shame, don't you think? Like
Why would he do that, Ariel?
He ruined
He
everything.
bit the hand that fed him all them years. He started talking about the back staff, the chef.
Yeah.
The facilities
lot.
haven't changed. The manager's no good. Rooney's no good. I'm like, bro, this place made you.
Like, he can't even come back like in 10, 15 years, old timers day, right? Like him coming back, I don't think they'd accept him.
It's just like, yeah, it wasn't very nice to hear, was it really? What do you want
And
your take?
especially to Piers Morgan. I mean, are you a fan
And
of
Piers was just teeing him
he
up.
loved it.
No, he was
eating it up. He was eating it
was
up.
so.
And also, if I'm a fan of Portugal, I'm like, did we really need this? Did we need this?
We've seen the Bruno Fernandes thing.
Yeah, oh, tremendous. Turned his back. Like,
I love
essentially-
that.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. That guy's a legend.
Now he's a Manchester
Yeah,
hero.
he's a legend.
But like,
Did you think it was to try to get, bought out? Did you think that was his end goal?
someone mentioned to me that he was doing it for publicity, and he did gain
Oh, yeah.
how many 100 million Instagram for like. Maybe it was like he's got that power hungry now that he wanted to.
And now Bex is going to bring him here. That's what they're saying. Him and Messi to Miami. He's going to end his career in MLS. It's a little bit weird.
He's still a great player though.
Would you be mad at Bex for that?
Beckham's kind of like picks his side.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, there's some truth to what Ronaldo was saying. We're not all blind.
Glazers.
Like, yeah, we don't have the best time, you
You're
know.
going to sell it.
Glazers are up for sale, I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Let's see. But we'll always be Manchester United. We'll always be the powerful Reds. And whatever will be, will be. And we'll always be the best team in the world and in Manchester, especially.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I mean, the table would say different. It's my squad. You know who I support?
My friend plays for him.
Jesse,
Lingard, yeah,
my guy.
Very good friend of mine.
Hey, I know. I saw him when he shouted you out.
Grew up
Legend.
with Jesse.
You actually grew up with
I
him.
actually grew up with him.
What
His
a
whole
legend.
family came to my fight in New York last time. His mum, his dad, his brothers. Yeah,
Can I tell you a
he's always
story?
busy with.
Yeah. Well, he's playing great lately. He's been getting some chances. They were keeping him on the bench, which I wasn't happy about.
Yeah.
But I went to Cardiff in early September to go to a WWE show because I do work with BT Sport.
Yep.
Right before, I noticed that Nottingham Forest was playing at Man City. So I drove from London to Man City, and I went to that game that was 6-0, 6-0 Man City, where Holland got the hat trick in the first half. I don't know if you remember this.
I remember
It was
that.
incredible. But Nottingham hooked me up with tickets, and they put me at the away end. So I was sitting with all the Nottingham Forest fans, and they gave me a jersey, which is somewhere.
So this is why you sponsored. Why
This is I picked them. I was an Everton fan, but then Meatball Molly stabbed me in the back and won't come on the show anymore because of her, not so nice manager who asks for payment to come on and do media. It's a lot of shady people. You know this, who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's not a fan of mine. So now he doesn't let Patty and Molly, who I was having on the show before anyone
Why
was
does
talking.
it get like this?
It's horrible. It's a horrible thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
so then I decided I'm going to be Nottingham. So then I go to the game because I like the logo, 23 years, not in the Premier League. And I'm sitting there and there's all these fans.
Right.
And there's one woman sitting by herself in the away section who, let's be honest, doesn't look like the fans at all. And then I hear her on the phone speaking with an American accent. So I just said to her, I was like, you seem out of place here. It was Jesse's girlfriend.
Wow.
So I watched the whole game with her, but then he didn't play. So it was a little bit awkward. Anyway,
Well,
I don't know
you
if
picked a crazy team there. So random.
Yeah, well, what they signed, I think, 27 guys or something.
Yeah, they're going for it.
Yeah,
They're going for it.
we're, I think, bottom 3 right now, but I feel good. But Jesse's the man. Please tell him I say
I will do.
we
Shout out to
support.
Jesse
Is he an
Lingard.
MMA fan?
Kind of. He'll watch it because I'm fighting.
He wouldn't
but
know anything if he came
he's
on.
What, nah.
Nah, he wouldn't know.
Nah.
Is he going to watch on Friday?
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah?
The whole family will be.
No, is he coming?
No, he's not coming.
Okay.
They came to the last time I fought MSG. They flew over, but he's in Dubai.
Why
right
isn't
now.
he on England?
You know how it is.
Yeah.
It gets technical, doesn't it?
Right.
If you're not in the big teams, it gets very technical.
You know how I like Dino Henderson?
Yeah.
That's
Do you know
my
who
guy.
else? Do you know who else would have been a good
He was
start?
Man United too.
Yeah, Welbeck would have been good this year.
Yeah.
Welbeck's been having a great season.
You guys are okay.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? 2 o'clock, I say 2-1 England, and then around 10 o'clock, 50-45 Brendan.
Let's just say it's going to be an absolutely fantastic day for English people. They're going to have another world champion. And by the way, they've only ever had 2.
That's true.
Ever. Michael
Bisping and Leon.
and Leon. And guess what?
It's about
3 Lions, 3 titles.
Wow, that is something. Well, this has been lovely. Brendan, come hug it out.
Pleasure, Ariel. Thank you so much for having me
You're
on.
the man.
It's been
Thank
great.
you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, brother.
Safe travels. Please tell Darren I don't say hi. Okay, thank you so much. There he is.